Today, the session is on bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation is the process by which certain toxic substances, such as pesticides, heavy metals, like mercury or lead, or persistent organic pollutants, build up in an organism over time because the substances are absorbed faster than they are lost through metabolism or excretion. Key points. Occurs over time. Small amounts taken in repeatedly can accumulate to harmful levels. Common in aquatic environments. Organisms like fish and shellfish are especially vulnerable because pollutants often concentrate in water. Fat-soluble toxins. Many bioaccumulated substances are stored in fat tissues and are not easily broken down. Can affect entire food chains. When predators eat contaminated prey, toxins move up the food chain, a process known as biomagnification. Organisms often depend on one another for essential needs, and these interactions form the foundation of ecosystems. This reliance can be categorized into different types of relationships. Predation. One organism hunts and consumes another for food. Mutualism. Both organisms benefit from the relationship. Commensalism. One organism benefits while the other is neither helped nor harmed. Parasitism. One organism benefits at the expense of another. Competition. Organisms compete for the same resources like food, territory, or mates. Organisms rely on others for various needs, such as food, shelter, reproduction, and survival. We call this intricate web of relationships interdependence. But this delicate balance is under threat, with different natural events and human activities introducing toxins into the environment. Most toxins that organisms are exposed to can be excreted, metabolized, or detoxified by the body, especially if they are water-soluble. However, not all toxins are easily eliminated. Some can accumulate in an organism over time, particularly if they are fat-soluble, like DDT or PCBs, which tend to be stored in fatty tissues. Persistent in the environment, meaning they don't break down easily. This leads to two important processes: bioaccumulation, the buildup of toxins in an individual organism over time. Biomagnification, the increasing concentration of toxins as they move up the food chain. For example, mercury levels are higher in top predators like tuna or orcas than in the organisms they eat. At low levels, some toxins can be taken by organisms at the bottom of the food chain, such as plants and algae. This is called bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation occurs because the organisms either have been taking up the toxins faster than they can excrete, or have no way of processing or degrading the toxin. When primary consumers eat these plants or algae, they also take in the toxins on them. As a result, they now have high levels of toxins. The apex predator feeding on the animals below it receives the highest concentration of toxins. This high toxin level can severely affect the organism and, eventually, the entire ecosystem. How do toxins enter the food chain and affect the organisms? One example is the introduction of mercury in bodies of water. It used to enter the ecosystem through insecticides and paints. Small animals and plankton absorb mercury, which small fish then eat. However, because fish eat a lot of plankton, the mercury concentration in fish is now higher than in plankton. Larger fish feed on smaller fish. These larger fish are then consumed by even bigger ones, like tuna. This means tuna now has a high mercury concentration, also known as biomagnification. Humans who tend to eat them could get sick from mercury poisoning. Today, the use of mercury is heavily regulated, if not entirely banned, because of its toxicity and environmental impact. Other chemicals and microplastics, tiny fragments of plastics, also pollute land, air and water and eventually enter the food chain. The rapid pace of industrialization and development has drastically increased the consumption of plastic products in daily life, resulting in the critical global issue of microplastic pollution. These microscopic plastic particles have infiltrated ecosystems, particularly through water sources, and have entered food chains, posing a significant threat to human health. The persistence and widespread distribution of microplastics make their removal from contaminated environments exceptionally challenging.